Okay, folks, here's a quick review of the Prototype Boba Fett figure that was produced by Hasbro for the Star Wars The Black Series 6-inch scale line of action figures. Okay, before I begin, I apologize for not having filmed any reviews lately, but I had some urgent family matters to take care of, and on top of that, I've had my ongoing classwork to do, so all of that had to take priority. Hopefully I'm going to be able to start filming reviews again on a more regular basis, and possibly posting a little bit more often on the forums. So, anyway, without further ado, let's get back to what's going on with this figure. Okay, this figure, I believe, was a Walgreens pharmacy exclusive, and it was fairly tough to find in my area. When I first saw it in store, I thought it looked to be just a straight repaint of the previous 6-inch scale Boba Fett figure release. So let's go on ahead and find out if there were any changes done to it, aside from the all-white paint application. Okay, the articulation joints were all unchanged, but I'll go over them again. Boba Fett has articulation in the neck, shoulders, the elbows, the forearms, the wrists, the hips, the knees, and the ankles. There's an additional articulation joint just below the hips, and the ankles are on a rocker joint. Boba Fett's head can turn 360 degrees, and it also moves up and down, and his knees are double jointed. So just like before, the posing options are quite numerous, and just like before, the antenna is not movable. Paint apps on the figure were done nicely. There were no appreciable errors to speak of. The cape is still unchanged, aside from the white and gray coloration, and is still made of cloth and doesn't appear to be removable. Now, just like before, I discovered that this figure is a bit tricky to get to stand up upright without using a figure stand, and I was a bit disappointed to see that, that really hadn't changed. So let me pause here, zoom in, and I'm going to give you a closer look as to what Prototype Boba Fett looks like. Okay. Alright, just like before, Prototype Boba Fett comes with 3 accessories, so let me take a break here and I'm going to show you what those look like. Okay, first up, here is his trademark blaster rifle that we all saw in the movies. This is known as an EE3 carbine rifle in the Star Wars universe, and this particular accessory was recolored all in black for this figure release. Alright, next up, here is Boba Fett's disruptor pistol, which I'm assuming he carried as a backup. And this, just like before, it can be placed into a holster located on Boba Fett's right hip. And as you can see, this was also recolored all in black for this particular figure. Okay, and finally, here is Boba Fett's rocket pack. This was known as a Metrinoman Z6, and it still pegs into place on Boba Fett's back. And this was repainted all in white for this particular figure, aside from some gray located on the bottom of this accessory. Okay, what I'm going to do now is a quick 360 of Prototype Boba Fett for you, and let you see what he looks like from all sides. So here he is from the front. Here he is from the right-hand side. Here is Prototype Boba Fett from the rear. Okay, here is Prototype Boba Fett from the left-hand side. And finally, here he is once again, facing forward. And as an added treat for everybody, I thought I'd give you a shot of what Prototype Boba Fett looks like, alongside the previous release of Boba Fett. Okay, so overall, I'd have to say that this is a very interesting looking figure. The paint apps were done well. The included accessories are also done well. The only 2 gripes that I do have, and it's just like before, this figure really does need to have a figure stand included with it, and that's because it's difficult to get him to stand upright. Using the included rocket pack, that does seem to help, just like before, but shelf diving, I still feel, is a very real possibility, because if this figure falls on his head, this antenna that you see, it might be damaged, possibly even broken off. But that being said, I still feel that the gripes are relatively minor, so as before, I feel that this figure does deserve a great recommendation. I like both of the 6-inch scale Boba Fett figures equally, and I certainly feel that this figure makes for a very nice addition to your Star Wars 6-inch scale figure collection. Okay, so on that note, take care and stay tuned for my next review. Have a good one, and I hope everybody has a great new year. Bye now.